keep it frank. He was doing the things to other people that was done to him. He learned from Russell Simmons, Clyde Davis. When those people on you, that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women. These are abusing things that with drugs, pills, drinking, it can make him into a monster, and that's what it did. It made him into a monster, bro. I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping. The first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, I'm giving him he's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. As he going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from, and then he picked like a
Sean Diddy Combs has taken a sharp turn in his legal strategy by filing a lawsuit against his former bodyguard, Gene Deal. This move comes shortly after Deal publicly expressed his willingness to testify in the ongoing federal investigation against the music mogul. In the lawsuit, Diddy accuses Deal of leaking confidential information and violating an unspoken agreement of discretion. The timing and nature of the lawsuit suggest that Diddy may be attempting to intimidate or silence potential witnesses who are prepared to speak out under oath.
Okay, he put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up, and it said butt plugs. And I was like, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shot myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself.
Gene Deal's willingness to testify stems from his first-hand accounts of the infamous freak-off gatherings, alleged drug-fueled parties where individuals were reportedly pressured into intimate acts. Deal claims these disturbing details are crucial to the prosecution's portrayal of a criminal enterprise allegedly orchestrated by Sean Diddy Combs. The timing of Diddy's aggressive legal counterattack is striking, arriving just as opening statements are about to begin in Manhattan federal court. Combs faces serious charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking, in a high-stakes trial expected to span several weeks. If convicted, the penalties could be severe, making every twist in the case, including the battle over Deal's testimony, immensely significant for both sides.
Picture is crazy, ain't it? Mm-hmm. And I told you, Puff blew up like crazy when he said, everybody thought I was lying.
In interviews on platforms like The Art of Dialogue, Gene Deal has shared troubling accounts of what he allegedly witnessed at Diddy's private events. He described seeing guests unknowingly served spiked champagne, often leading to blackouts and situations where consent was compromised, something he claims happened repeatedly over the years. In one particularly personal account, Deal recalled finding his own girlfriend unconscious in a car after accidentally consuming the tampered drink at one of these gatherings. He points to this incident as a clear example of the systemic coercion and danger within Diddy's inner circle. According to Deal, these so-called freak-offs weren't just wild parties. They were calculated displays of control, where hidden cameras allegedly recorded compromising footage to be used later for blackmail. These explosive claims tie directly into the broader racketeering conspiracy charges Diddy now faces in federal court.
Once one of entertainment's most powerful moguls, accused of a crime so heinous, he faces the possibility of spending the rest of us behind bars. He's denied all charges, and just a warning, the story contains accounts, descriptions, and visual content of actual alleged events that some may find disturbing.
Mom, how are you feeling? How is your son?
Can't talk about the case at all.
All eyes are on this New York courthouse as the federal trial for disgraced mogul Sean Diddy Combs begins.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs goes on trial today.
Combs is inside the courtroom along with those prospective jurors.
He faces multiple charges of racketeering and sex trafficking.
The musician famous for hits like
Gene Deal's revelations have given prosecutors a striking insider's view into the alleged inner workings of Diddy's organization, claims that paint a stark contrast to the mogul's public persona. In swift retaliation, Sean Combs has launched an aggressive legal attack against Deal, filing a lawsuit that accuses him of defamation and the unauthorized release of proprietary information. Critics argue that the true intent behind the lawsuit is to intimidate potential witnesses and discourage further cooperation with federal investigators. Legal experts note that such a countersuit may serve a dual purpose, punishing Deal for speaking out while subtly signaling to the court and the jury that Combs won't tolerate disloyalty.
Day when we're talking about Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. At one point, he also had the actual key to New York City. To see him today facing trial on federal criminal charges is completely a downfall of who Puff Daddy, who Sean Combs was.
Prosecutors allege he used his power to force women into prolonged drug-fueled orgies he called, and then threatened them into silence.
The freak-offs, according to prosecutors, were these marathons. Some of them last days, and they were fueled by ecstasy or other party drugs. And women were not allowed to leave.
Of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trafficking trial. The prosecution's star witness, Combs' girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, is expected to take the stand today. So far, the jury has heard graphic and very disturbing details from a man who says he was paid to have sex with Cassie Ventura. He also testified that he witnessed the music mogul assault her on 2 separate occasions. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
So let's go live now to CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates right outside that courthouse in New York. Laura, so tell us more about when Ventura will take the stand. That is really such a big focus for today.
She will take the stand any moment.
This maneuver could influence how jurors perceive the credibility and motives of those testifying against him. The deeper context of this legal battle lies in the sweeping and unprecedented federal charges Sean Diddy Combs is currently facing. These allegations stretch back as far as 2004 and include forced labor, kidnapping, bribery, and obstruction of justice, all brought under the powerful RICO, racketeer-influenced and corrupt organizations framework.
To hear what might be explosive testimony from Cassie Ventura, the linchpin of the prosecution's case. Remember, we were told by the defense today, this is the first time in 6.5 years since the death of the mother of 4 of Sean Diddy Combs' children, Kim, tragically died of pneumonia, that the 2 of them will be in the same room to face. The defense called it a moment to witness closure. What we will witness, though, is testimony where she will try to bridge the gap over an 11-year period, what the prosecution has described as abuse and violence and coercion and intimidation, all to have her engage in these so-called freak-offs, days-long drug-fueled sex encounters without consent. But just now in the courtroom, I witnessed something truly interesting. They are arguing as we speak with the judge over whether Cassie Ventura's husband be in the audience. Cassie Ventura has just taken the stand. We're going to watch, and we will see in just a moment, Cassie Ventura, visibly pregnant, due in less than a month or so, confronted face-to-face with Sean Diddy Combs, her boyfriend and lover of more than a decade. The first time they'll be together. Now they want to make sure that her husband could not be in the courtroom. The defense is saying they may call Mr. Fine, who, remember, is a physical trainer who Diddy hired to actually train.
Prosecutors argue that Combs used his vast business empire, including record labels, event production companies, and private security firms, not only to build his brand, but also to facilitate and enforce a range of criminal activities. Their case is reinforced by insider testimonies, including that of singer Cassie Ventura, who has already publicly detailed disturbing instances of abuse and coercion during her relationship with Combs. The trial officially began on May 12, 2025, under Judge Aaron Subramanian, with opening statements centered on damning video evidence and communications that prosecutors claim align closely with the accounts given by Deal and others. On Wednesday night, Diddy was reportedly hosting lavish gatherings at a venue he dubbed Daddy's House in the Red Zone, events that now form part of the broader narrative under scrutiny.
Actually worked with, the music. I guess he actually designed the artwork for Uptown Records, like the actual cat.
Yes, he did.
For Uptown Records, then later on went on to design the Bad Boy logo.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
Dope. Okay. And then Puffy actually became part of Same Gang, guys.
Yes, he did. We were outside on 148th Avenue, and Puff used to always come and try to go to the parties with us. At that time, we was going to Tim Dog and Corey, I think, I don't know last name, Corey Jacobs or something like that. He was had the Butt Naked crew. We was going to their parties. We was to Peter Shoe party. We were going to Black and Gold, Sparkles Entertainment, the skating rink, the just everything that was happening, Willie Burgers at night. And then we were also going to the Apollo Theater. So he wanted to hang with us because he was an intern for Uptown. And he could, get to know people from Harlem. So because D-Berg did that logo for Uptown Records, and we knew Tim, Heavy D, and everybody like that, he started wanting to hang with us. So then he just was there too much. And then somebody said, yo, man, we're gonna jump him in. You know what I'm saying? So if he got out of his car this particular day, he got out of the car, he was driving those Volkswagen Cabarettos with the
Cabriolet.
All right, the Volkswagen Cabriolet with the sunroof on it. They say once we gonna grab him, and then we just gonna torture his ass. So like that torturing was like we was right there next to the store. It was outside. Get a bunch of Little Debbie cakes and everything, smash them in the head, sprinkle them with champagne and everything like that, and make them sing gang and everything like that. So when Puff came out the car, the little cats grabbed him, but Puff wiggled away from him, and they didn't catch him until we was on 44th Street. They didn't catch him until he got to 27th Street. So that's like that was like close to 20-something blocks. So they caught him, brought him back, and they roughed him up a little bit and say, now you same gang. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And Puffy, I mean, not only is he an intern at Uptown, but he started doing his own parties, and he was really successful at the parties.
Yeah, he was doing. He was actually doing Upside Hype. Did you know Unsigned Hype on Monday nights?
Yeah.
That was when leaders of the school where Busta Rhymes was in, and different groups, they would come on Monday night and perform. And then on Wednesday night, he had the Red on doing parties, what he called Daddy's House.
His recent decision to reject plea deals, as outlined in court filings, highlights his determination to fight the charges head-on and signals confidence in his legal team's ability to mount an aggressive defense. This comes even as prosecutors prepare to call high-profile witnesses such as Gene Deal and Cassie Ventura to testify. However, the case has taken a darker turn with reports that one key witness, identified only as victim number 3, has gone missing and remains unreachable, sparking serious concerns about potential witness intimidation.
I believe that they're gonna try to hit him with those guns in there. They saving that for last. The drugs, the guns. They'll do another superseding indictment and add those two if he don't take the plea. But not only celebrities, I don't think celebrities are gonna be shook. He had politicians in there. Princes in there.
Uh-oh.
Also had a couple of preachers in there.
Oh, damn.
Is he talking about who I think he's talking about?
You think?
Hallelujah.
Cat Williams commented on that.
Cat Williams definitely.
Prosecutors allege that Combs, even while in custody, has attempted to influence testimony through phone calls made from the Metropolitan Detention Center. Records reportedly show hundreds of calls placed to associates and family members, which federal attorneys argue were part of a broader effort to obstruct justice and pressure witnesses into withdrawing their cooperation.
Anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
I keep everything right here. Or right here.
Gene Deal's public visibility has surged, drawing both backlash and support. While some have sent him hate mail, many others commend his decision to speak out as an act of bravery against a powerful figure in the music industry. Deal maintains that he has no regrets about coming forward and insists he first pursued every formal avenue to report his concerns before going public, an effort to counter accusations that he's exploiting the situation for personal gain or publicity. On the other side, Sean Diddy Combs continues to push back through legal action, asserting that Deal's claims are false, defamatory, and harmful.
Investigation. New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kotursky is at the scene of his arrest. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. This is the where Sean Combs was arrested a week ago. You can now see how that went down. This morning, watch how federal agent took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He didn't expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night.
Why the government wanted to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention.
Go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in. 1, 2, 3.
A day earlier, Combs seen about New York with his family, seemingly in good spirits. Combs pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and institution charges, part of why 2 different federal judges denied him bail.
This has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
Combs, who lived in the $50 million Miami mansion, is now in an isolated unit of a federal jail in Brooklyn known for miserable conditions.
Special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3, staff members escorting them.
When Combs first arrived at jail, he was murdered for suicide. That's common for any high-profile inmate. His attorney says Combs is not suicidal. Rather, guys, he's...
The lawsuit seeks financial damages as well as a court order to prevent Deal from making any further allegedly disparaging statements. Under the RICO statutes, any witness with first-hand knowledge of the alleged criminal enterprise can play a pivotal role, and Gene Deal's detailed accounts of drugging, secret recordings, and coercion could prove instrumental in strengthening the prosecution's case. His testimony supports the broader claim that Sean Diddy Combs orchestrated a coordinated and sustained criminal operation. However, the defense is expected to challenge Deal's credibility by pointing to possible personal grievances or motives of financial gain.
When this interview drop, this is going to be out in the ether for sure. It's ways in this industry people go about doing things.
Here.
April 11th last year, that's my boy for Avenue. He was gone for 20 days. I don't remember anything.
What some of the things that you heard behind the scenes that went on before this indictment actually dropped?
Well, I know Poison Jamie Foxx.
Talking about when, what was it, a year or 2 ago or so, when Fox got real sick and everybody said he had a stroke.
I was kind of careful about some of the things I said, but you know, now that I know that certain people off the street, the dried up, you know, so now it's time to play ball.
According to new reports, while Jamie Foxx may have passed off his appearances at Diddy's infamous events as jokes, the man was actually there. Like Diddy's victims, he witnessed some of the worst parts of the industry. Turns out that knowledge almost cost him his life. Did Diddy do something to him all this? Oh yes. New details from a former bodyguard just revealed that Jamie's hospitalization was in fact directly tied to Diddy. In his words, the rapper's goal to take out another piece on the board that could land him in cuffs.
Is there any idea why Diddy would want to poison Jamie Foxx?
You get called to testify. If you on camera, some of this footage.
Did you notice that Jamie Foxx hadn't been publicly seen much since his hospitalization last year? That had to do with a lot more than just his health. Per the claims of several industry players, Jamie was seemingly hiding for
the whole time when Jamie was out. For the industry insiders, Diddy did that to him.
His life. Thing is, Diddy seemingly never expected the actor to survive, let alone be able to stand on 2 feet again. But luckily for him, he beat the alleged poison. And do you know what he allegedly claimed to do immediately after waking up at the hospital? He called the feds on Diddy, folks.
Jamie Foxx states in the shoot that Diddy was responsible for what happened to him, and he is the one that called.
This strategy appears to be taking shape through Combs' ongoing lawsuit against Deal, aiming to cast doubt on his integrity and shift the narrative in the courtroom. Diddy's towering reputation as a music mogul with an almost mythic public image stands in sharp contrast to the deeply unsettling narrative shared by insiders like Gene Deal and alleged victims such as Cassie Ventura. Ventura, whose civil lawsuit was settled for $20 million, has made it clear she remains committed to testifying in order to shed light on her experiences. This trial has become more than just a legal battle. It represents a cultural flashpoint. forcing a confrontation with long-standing questions about accountability for the powerful and the personal cost borne by those who dare to speak out against them.
I believe he was a coward. There's no way he should have let that happen to his kids.
What is this? That could be his sons. If that is accurate, I wouldn't prize because the allegations put forward in that lawsuit implicated his sons.
I think that was wrong. If them was the damn Rockefellers or somebody else, they wouldn't have had their kids handcuffed like that. I believe he knew what was going down, and he probably thought they were gonna do that shit to the kids, but they did. Gene, did you see him beat Kim? I said, on that particular case, no. Have I seen him rough Kim up? Yeah, I seen him done that. You understand? And I've asked Kim, you good? Y'all good? And she just looked and stuff. He'll stop. Well, I seen his wrist ripped up. I would testify that I seen his wrist wrapped up in a t-shirt. They wouldn't let them know what they were doing, but it seemed like it might happen before Labor Day.
Wow, before Labor Day?
This trial represents a battle for validation and justice for the alleged victims, the fight for reputational survival for a powerful figure in the music industry, and a test of the integrity of the legal process, challenged by power dynamics and the spectacle of a high-profile case. As the proceedings unfold, every revelation, from Gene Deal's testimony about drugging and coercion to Diddy's aggressive counterclaims, will not only influence the jury's verdict, but also shape the lasting public narrative about the truth behind the closed doors of some of hip-hop's most infamous parties.